Today we are discussing the paper 2. In this paper 2, we are going to open our syllabus by chemistry of boron and its compound. And the first topic is electron deficient compounds. Before knowing these electron deficient compounds and their importance, their synthesis, let us know how compounds are obtained or what is the secret of formation of the compounds. Means formula of ammonia that we say as NH3 means three hydrogens are surrounding one nitrogen. Question you will be with why only three? Similarly, methane. Yes, will you help me? What's the formula of methane?
CH4.
Right, Gitanjali. CH4. Yes, Saurabh. So question may be why only four hydrogens? Why not two? Why not three? So such questions are to be answered by theory. So theory suggests us one rule in order to explain formation of various compounds and their stability. Will anybody guess what is that rule which predicts the formation of compounds? It is not universal, it is not a perfect rule, but we generally feel that elements do combine in order to achieve that something. Stability is explained by means of one rule. What is that rule? In your school days, you might have studied that oxygen can combine with two hydrogens, or wherever oxygen is there and if it has no charge, no formal charge, you say double bond. Or if to the carbon only three hydrogens are there, then you say single bond. If two hydrogens are there, double bond. If only one hydrogen is there, triple bond. So that idea you get because of that rule. What is that rule? What is the name of that rule? Yes, Saurabh, brilliant answer. Octet rule. And octet, the meaning of octet is, yes, what is the meaning of octet? Octet means what? Octet is a number. So in our decimal system, that octet means which number? Yes, Gitanjali, Saurabh, right, 8. So there remains effort of element to be with 8 number of electrons in which outermost orbitals of that element or ion, there should be 8 electrons. That attempt remains. Means sodium atomic number is 11. So if you write it electronic configuration, you will find 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. It's a neon configuration, 10 electrons. And 11th electron remains in 3s orbital. So that one electron is extra that we say. Actually, it is there in the property of the sodium. But what sodium thinks, if it is given that one electron, then octet can be computed. Likewise, explanation is given to us. It is not absolutely correct, but I am going through the previous basic fundamental ideas. And in order to compute octet, sodium can give the one electron and can form Na plus ion, sodium ion or cation. On the other hand, chlorine atomic number is 17. So after computing neon configuration, that's a 10 electron, the 3s2 and 3p5 in p orbitals, 5 electrons are there. If you see in outermost orbitals, 2 plus 5, 7 electrons are there. So it needs only one electron. So because of that, chlorine will prefer to take or gain electron and forms Cl minus ion. So Na plus ion formation, cation we discuss. Now Cl minus ion, chloride ion, anion formation that I discussed. Their attempt is to complete octet, to complete 8 electrons in outermost orbitals. Now I have one question. Why only 8 electrons about which we are talking? Why not 2? Why not 18? Why not 15? Why not 10? Why only 8? Yes, that's a proper way. Yes, good. I am repeating, Prathamesh, the question. Various examples I had given, water, ammonia, and organic compounds where single bond is there with carbon. That's the 3 hydrogens. If double bond, 2 hydrogens, triple bond, only 1 hydrogen. So if you see, there remains an attempt of the element to be with the 8 electrons. Addition to that, I had given example of sodium, Na plus, where 8 electrons are there in outermost orbitals. Chloride ion, 8 electrons are there in outermost orbitals. Question is, why only 8? Why not other number? Why not 10? Why not 18? Why not 2? Any other number you can consider. Prathamesh, is question clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, can you answer?
Because maximum capacity is 8.
Maximum capacity is 8. Likewise,
Shell
say
is at
continue.
outermost shell is
Outermost shell maximum capacity is 8. Question is why 8? If I consider answer of Prathamesh is correct, he is saying shell has one capacity, cell has one ability to accommodate electrons. Gitanjali is saying because it requires stability. Okay, it's true. To require stability, whatever the capacity is there, that is to be filled properly. The quantum nature of the atom. Okay, it's a vague answer. But first statement I understand, Gitanjali, that you are saying that they want stability and therefore they are doing. Yes, that only we are discussing. So Prathamesh said that outermost shell has the capacity of 8 electrons. But my question is why 8? Akshay is saying because electrons in outermost orbit has less influence of center. So it has little freedom. Okay, freedom I'm asking about 8, number 8. Why number 8 came? Prathamesh said that is a capacity. Okay, understood. But why that only is capacity? Yes, Prathamesh is octet rule, but we are discussing why only octet. It is a main concern. Shilpa saying single electron outermost electron shell. Single electron outermost. I'm not understanding, Shilpa, exactly what you are saying. Okay, I make the question simple, but I want answer from you. The example that I considered was of sodium. After losing that one electron, 10 electrons will be there. And outermost shell of that sodium ion, that's Na plus, is second shell. And in second shell, which orbitals are there? What is the capacity of that second shell? As per Prathamesh answer, its capacity is 8. I give the example of chloride ion. Basically, chlorine is with 17 electrons. After taking one electron, it becomes 18. So those 18 electrons, if I consider in chlorine, then those electrons in third shell. So in third shell, what exactly is there? Because of that, it can accommodate only 8 electrons. So question is, what is there? Because of that, 8 electrons are accommodable. Because electrons are there where? Electrons are in orbitals. So what or which orbitals are there? Now I made it very simple. Because of that, it can accommodate only 8 electrons. Outermost orbitals or that shell, second shell, third shell can accommodate those many electrons. Third shell is not a fair word, but okay, time being understand that. Yes, which orbitals are there, which orbitals are involved, which orbitals are filled, because of that number 8 came. Because of that, we are saying octet rule. See, question is very simple. Name the orbital. Orbitals. Okay, before that, let me know. What are the types of orbitals? Different orbitals name. Example, it's azimuthal quantum number, orbital quantum number. It is represented as L. It takes values from 0 to onwards, 0, 1, 2, 3. And letters or symbols. Which orbitals? Name any one orbital. Right, Akshay? S, P, D, F. That S should be the small. So S, P, D, F. Right, Gaurav? You were knowing this. S, P, D, F are the orbitals. So my question was, which orbitals are involved in order to get 8 number, in order to get octet? Which are the examples of sodium or chloride I had given? In that, which orbitals are there? Outermost orbitals or in that shell? Because of that, we are considering that 8 number. I am asking the name of those orbitals.
S and P orbital.
Exactly, Rina. That was a simple question and answer. Yes, and p orbital. What Prathamesh said, ability of the shell is to accommodate 8 electrons, and those 8 electrons can be accommodable in the various orbitals. Which orbitals? S and P that Rina said. S orbital, answer for my question. S orbital can accommodate how many electrons? Maximum electrons possible in S orbital.
2 electrons.
Exactly. Brilliant. All are giving answer. 2 electrons. Yes. So maximum 2 electrons will be there. P orbital can accommodate how many electrons? Right, 6. Here is answer. 2 plus 6. So it is a maximum capacity of the shell that we consider. And therefore the number came 8. But if you just study it little higher, I repeat, I agree with your notion that octet means a shell can accommodate those many electrons. Shell is with the S and P orbital. S orbital can accommodate 2 electrons. P orbital can accommodate 6 electrons to the maximum level. And that full stomach of that orbital means 8 electrons. And fully it is filled means it is happy. It is no hunger. and because of that, the element or molecule gets the stability, and the stability is explained by octet rule. It is our basic. Now, little higher study we are doing. We are talking about the compounds where s and p orbitals are involved. But if I consider the compounds where d orbitals are there, then means if I consider, say, iron, atomic number of iron is 26. But iron is going to form a octahedral complexes. I'm not going in deep about the bonding. It's a coordination bonding, but 26 octahedral complexes. And if I see that octahedral complexes will be there in such a way, which charge on the iron will be there in such a way that some one number will be fulfilled. It is not a perfect rule, but in general point of view, especially for carbonyl, it is applied. For example, nickel, just listen carefully. If not clear, then also will do. Slowly it will be clear. Nickel, atomic number is 28. And nearest noble gas, if you consider, that is what the krypton. Krypton, atomic number is 36. So 36 is number of krypton, means fully filled. And 28 is atomic number of the nickel. So how many electrons it needs? Nickel atom. Because in carbonyl, nickel atom remains. There is no ion. So it needs 8 electrons. 28 plus 8, 36. So in order to get 8 electrons, it coordinate with 4 ligands because each ligand gives the 2 electrons. Therefore, formula of nickel carbonyl is NiCO4. Similarly, iron, atomic number 26, maximum capacity in those orbitals will be what? Up to 36, 26, 36. Difference of 10, and that 10 difference can be achieved by means of 5 ligands because one ligand gives the 2 electron. Therefore, formula of iron carbonyl is FeCO5. One more example that I give it to you. Chromium, atomic number is 24, and maximum capacity of filling the orbitals in that shell. That actually, which cell is there that we can talk about that. If you see that up to 36 it can go. And if you go to 36, 24 and 36, difference is of 12. Then 12 electrons you can get by means of 6 ligands. Therefore, formula of chromium carbonyl is CrCO6. These are the few possible carbonyls. Such many carbonyls are there, but simple examples that I discussed. Carbonyl I consider because the metal generally remains in atomic state. It's not necessarily in any positive state. Let it be in the ionic form. Coordination compounds, whatever you have studied, there you're reaching up to krypton. So here, which are the examples I had given? The attempt of the metal ion, in case if it is there, is to achieve the configuration of next noble gas, and that next noble gas is krypton. Till now, whatever the examples you discussed, there neon is atomic number 10. There before that helium and neon difference is 8. Therefore, you were considering octet. Neon, and then next was the argon. Argon atomic number is 18. So neon and argon. What's the difference? What's the atomic number of neon? Yes, 10. Good answers. What is the atomic number of argon? 18. 18, yes. 10 and 18. Difference 8. Therefore, you were considering octet. Now I am going to little higher level. Some additional compounds I am discussing. Argon atomic number is 18. Next noble gas is krypton. And what's the atomic number of krypton? Yes, Nishant. Good. Reena, right? 36. So krypton 36, argon 18. Difference is of 18 electrons. Now octet rule will not help us. We need to care for 2 plus 6 plus 10. That is 18. Why 10? Because of d orbitals, 3d orbitals. That 3d orbitals are there in which series? In a series of the potassium. First element, hydrogen. Position is very not properly defined. Next one, lithium, the second period. Third one, sodium, third period. Now we are coming to the fourth period, fourth shell. And in that fourth shell, actually fourth shell is not a fair word for that. But at the beginning, electron remains in the s orbital. After all, they enter in the d orbital. So potassium, calcium, then scandium to zinc. You will find electrons are entering in d orbitals. And after fulfilling that d orbital, then electrons are entering in the p orbital. And that p orbital is the 4p orbital. So there, outermost shell rather than outermost orbitals, which are involved during the bonding or where electrons can be exchanged, electron can be transferred. Those we consider. Here, third shell, 3s, 3p, and 3d orbitals are involved. 3s has 2 electrons capacity. 3p has 6 electron capacity. 3d has 10 electron capacity, and therefore 18. Now question you will with, I said that fourth shell, electrons are then 4s orbital, but during the formation of their ions, at 4s orbital electrons goes out, ferrous ion, ferric ion, or even if in atomic state, you will study the valence bond theory, Linus Pauling theory for coordination compounds, their concept will be clear. Though electrons are in 4s orbital, electrons are paired, electrons are compelled to come in the lower orbital. That's a 3d orbital because space is what available. The reasons for that also I will what discuss later on. But at this moment, remember that octet is a one kind of the rule. 8 is a one number. Depending upon the element, we are choosing that number. But if we come to the higher elements, then 8 is not a fair number for us. We need to care for 18 electron system. So as like 8 electron rule is there, octet rule is there. Likewise, 18 electron rule is there, or other words, it is said as EAN, effective atomic number rule. It is what generalization done. Now, students, I am asking question to you. Are you following what I am saying? Is it too fast, or you are getting this point? If it's too fast, then say fast. If you have to little bit slow, then you can say slow. If you have to repeat the thing, then also you have to say repeat the thing. No, why answers are not there? Only Prathamesh has answered. See, students, I said yesterday, don't allow me to ask again and again. You have to answer. It should be spontaneous behavior, so that whether you are awake or not, okay, somewhat delay is there. So 18 electron rule also is there. So such 8 electron rule, octet rule, 18 electron rules do remain, but these rules are for just the sake of simple explanation. It is not the perfect explanation. Now question you will be with, on what ground I am saying that? Just take example, PCl5, phosphorus pentachloride. Now let us discuss this point. How many chlorines are there in PCl5? Yes, 5 chlorines are there. So each chlorine is sharing, here covalent bond we are discussing, sharing 1 electron with the phosphorus. When if phosphorus is ready to give 1 electron, so chlorine is giving 1 electron and phosphorus is giving 1 electron and forming PCl bond. It is the understanding of the PCl bond. So in that bond, 2 electrons are there. Means in that covalent bond, always there remain 2 electrons in one bond. Such how many bonds are there? 5 bonds are there. In each bond, 2 electrons are there. In 5 bonds, 10 electrons are there. So it is a property of whom? It's of both now, chlorine as well as phosphorus. But if I come to central atom, then all 10 electrons is a property of that phosphorus. If I talk about the chlorine individually, only 1 electron from phosphorus, remaining is its own original property. That's a 17 electron in chlorine plus 1 electron. So 18 electrons are there in the chlorine. But if you see outermost orbitals, in outermost orbitals, 8 electrons are there. So octet of chlorine is completed. Octet of all chlorine is completed. Originally, each chlorine is with 17 electrons, but now being phosphorus bonded to it, chlorine achieved 18 electron configuration. Chlorine is with now 8 electrons in the outermost orbitals. So octet is completed. I am coming to the central atom now, phosphorus. Help me, what's the atomic number of phosphorus? Yes, 15. So 15 means how can I write its electronic configuration? After completing neon, 5 electrons extra. And those 5 electrons are there in 3s and 3p orbitals. So in outermost orbitals of phosphorus, 5 electrons are there. And 5 electrons are given by 5 chlorine. So 5 plus 5, 10 electrons are there. So around phosphorus, now 10 electrons are there. What is the basically expectation? In outermost orbitals, phosphorus should expect how many electrons? 8 electrons. But here we are finding how many? 10 electrons. So it is more than 8. So this is an example of expanded octet. Now I ask you the question. Question is based on this explanation. PCl5 is example of expanded octet where 10 electrons are there around the phosphorus. Likewise, I want from you other example where expanded octet is a case. Just wait, students. Yes, I call you later. I think lecture is going on. Yes, students. Any other example of expanded octet? Very good, Gitanjali Prathamesh. SF6. Let us evaluate the example they have given. PF Shilpa, PCl5, PF5, those are the same. I don't want to insult, but just example that I am giving to you. Just I recall the example that my teacher told about such things. See, Rana tigrina, as a one species genus is there for the frog. No, frog comes in that family or the species. Yes, have you heard this? Rana tigrina. Means in zoology there remains no the family or the species or genus. Few words. I don't know exactly those words, but those words remain, and frog comes under that family or the genus or that species. That is what the, yes, it's amphibian. Yes, right, it's amphibian, but it's a name in that family name. I think it is there, Rana tigrina, or it's for frog. I'd like in taxonomy, in botany there remains a botanical names. No, similarly in zoology also few names are there that or that it is said in that family or something. That's a Rana tigrina, species, genus. Are you getting what I want to say? Okay. So Rana tigrina. So teacher asked the question, what's the example of that Rana tigrina, species, genus, or the family? Student answered frog. That's the correct answer. Then teacher asked, what's the other example? Student said other frog. Likewise, PCl5 that we have discussed. Likewise, other, if you say PF5, then the similar example. But SF6, which are the example is given, that SF6 we are what the discussing. Is it clear what I said? So Shilpa, your answer was not wrong. It is absolutely right. I had to respect your answer, but just dialogue should be there. Therefore, I did. In SF6, they are saying expand octet. How it is possible that you have to see? If you see central atom, that's a sulfur. It is bonding to how many fluorine? How many fluorine atoms? Yes, 6. So each fluorine atom is sharing only one electron. On what condition? That sulfur has to give one electron. Give means sharing only. So now which of the bond is there because of 2 electron? It's the property of the both. But such how many bonds are there? 6 bonds. If we were to talk about the central atom, that's the sulfur. Then sulfur is with 6 into 2, 12 electrons. Around sulfur, 12 electrons are there. If you see in outermost orbital, I'm saying, if you see the fluorine in outermost orbital of fluorine atomic number is 9. If we take 1 electron, it means share. And because of that, additional 1 electron, now 10 electrons are there. It's a neon electronic configuration. 10 electrons are complete electron, but in outermost orbitals, how many electrons are there? 2s and 2p. Total 8 electrons are there. So octet for fluorine is completed. About that we have no problem. About that we have no question. Question is about the sulfur. Sulfur is with how many electrons now? 12 electrons. Considerable large number of electrons. We were considering 8, and for PCl5 I had given the example of the 10 electron system. Now example is of the 12 electron system. So here the answer is expand octet. Exception, likewise we say. Such many exceptions are there, but with the basic rule, that's octet rule, that SF6 is what the exception. That's the expanded octet. Similarly, there are the compounds where the number of electrons are less than the octet. Prathamesh, can H2SO4 be an example? Okay, let us discuss. See, Prathamesh is the question. Is H2SO4 example of the expand octet? Let us discuss this point. Hydrogen. How many hydrogens are there? How many hydrogens are there? Yes, 2. These 2 hydrogens, are they linked to sulfur? You should know the structure of H2SO4. Then you understand. Are they linked to sulfur? No. So now I help you. Let us discuss. Good question Prathamesh has asked. The H2SO4 structure that I asked to Google. See, it's a structure of H2SO4. Don't go on the geometry. I hope you could able to see the structure. Could you see the structure?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. See here. Sulfur is forming, and it's an opportunity for you to remember the structure. Sulfur is going to form total number of bonds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Brilliant. 6 bonds sulfur is going to form. Out of that, 2 are double bond and 2 are what? The single bond. The hydrogens which I was considering, those are attached to oxygen. When I consider number of electrons around sulfur, those hydrogens are not playing any kind of the role. So time being, I keep the hydrogen concept separate. So here you will find sulfur is sharing one electron, oxygen is sharing one electron. Here also, oxygen is sharing one electron, sulfur is sharing one electron. So if you observe here, oxygen wants two other electrons, shared electron, and because of that, it has formed double bond with the sulfur. What about this oxygen? Why not here double bond? Because here is hydrogen. With sulfur, it has formed one bond, and with hydrogen, it has formed other bond. Anyhow, want or desire of oxygen is fulfilled. If you see here, sulfur is the 6 bonds. Each bond has 2 electrons. So how many electrons are there around sulfur? Answer, please. See, I am presenting, so you have to unmute and talk.
Sir, repeat, voice is breaking.
How many questions are there around sulfur? Sorry. How many electrons are there around sulfur? Here's the other picture. Total electrons around sulfur. Each bond 2 electrons. 6 bonds. How many electrons?
12.
Right. 12. So expanded octet or yes. So answer expanded octet or incomplete octet or proper octet.
Expanded.
So sulfur in right, sulfur in H2SO4 is the example of expanded octet. But if you think about the oxygen, you will find oxygen is with the 8 electrons, 6 electron of its own in outermost orbitals. Atomic number of oxygen is 8. Out of that, 6 are in outermost orbital. Those 6 electron and 1 electron from hydrogen, 1 electron from sulfur. So because of that, here octet completed. Here 6 electrons are of the oxygen and 2 electrons from sulfur. So octet completed. Octet of oxygen completed and expanded octet of sulfur completed. Think about hydrogen. Answer the question. How many electrons are there now in the capacity of oxygen? Sorry, hydrogen. Towards hydrogen, how many electrons are there? Students, are you following my question? Now I came on the screen.
Sir, voice is breaking sometimes.
Voice is breaking. See. Sorry. Let me check that the net speed maybe just slow little bit. Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
See what I am saying in the H2SO4 hydrogen, and that hydrogen is with how many electrons? 2 hydrogens are there. Those 2 hydrogens are with how many electrons? Yes, speed is good one. Here you are finding what? Hydrogen is with how many electrons? That's my question. Please unmute and talk.
2.
Right. Hydrogen is with the 2 electrons. So where is the question of octet? But octet has a base at nearest noble gas. Hydrogen atomic number is 1. Nearest noble gas is the helium, and therefore the helium atomic number 2. Hydrogen is happy with the 2 electrons. Anyhow, happiness of each is important. So question asked by Prathamesh was H2SO4. Hydrogen is happy because of 2 electrons, nearest noble gas. Oxygen is happy because of the 8 electrons. It's total 10 electrons. That's the nearest noble gas. That's the neon. Sulfur is exceeding happy. Exceeding in the sense what? Extra electrons are there. But even though it is happy, because all orbitals are what involved. So at the beginning, that concept was not thought how sulfur can get what the 12 electrons. Afterwards, when you will study the detailed bonding as valence bond theory, hybridization, the concept will be the more clear. But my point of emphasis here is to teach you octet. Just it's a revision, and now expanded octet. And I answered now the question asked by Prathamesh. That's a H2SO4. Such central sulfur atom is there, central phosphorus atom is there. Such compounds of sulfur and phosphorus you will find where octet is expanded. More than 8 electrons are there. So these are the examples of expanded octet. So don't remain adhered to the rule, that's a octet rule. It was my intention to teach you. So is the conclusion clear? Octet and expanded octet. Yes. Now we have to discuss about the incomplete octet. Elements or the molecule where that atom is with the less than 8 electrons. Incomplete octet. So such compounds are called as electron deficient compounds. Can anybody answer any example of electron deficient compounds? Okay. Pratham is saying BeCl2. Let us analyze. Blindly we have not to accept that any chemical. BeCl2. Beryllium. Atomic number 4. So nearest noble gas, if you see nearest noble gas in that period last element That is what the neon. So 10 electron. So in outermost orbitals, it should be with the 8 electrons. It is expected. So the formulation should be beryllium electron has the only 4, so it needs a further number of the chlorine atoms. Just answer for my question. Forget about BeCl2. Beryllium has atomic number 4. It is forming the bond with the chlorine. How many chlorine should be there as per ideal point of view, so that beryllium will be with electronic configuration of neon? That 4 will become 10. How many chlorine should be there? Each chlorine, when forms over there, 1 electron will be given. Sharing will be there. I repeat, oxygen atomic number 8. In order to obtain octet, in order to get neon electronic configuration, in order to get nearest noble gas electronic configuration, it forms bond with 2 hydrogens. So those hydrogen electron, 2 electrons, it will be 8 plus 2, 10. Ammonia, nitrogen, atomic number is 7. Nearest noble gas, atomic number is 10. That's a neon. In order to get neon electronic configuration, nitrogen demands 3 hydrogens. That's a NH3 formation. Likewise, I am asking student to you, beryllium is going to form a bond with chlorine. In spite of hydrogen, I am saying chlorine. That's it. How many chlorines can surround? Should be there actually, ideally. Right, Gaurav? Brilliant, Akshay. It should be BeCl6. You might have not heard. Ideally, considering octet rule, it should be BeCl6. But it is not. It is BeCl2. So deficiency certainly is there. Let us calculate number of electrons in outermost orbital. Beryllium atomic number 4. So its electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2. Means in 2s orbital 2 electrons are there. In second shell 2 electrons. It's the own property of beryllium. Now those 2 electrons are there. Those 2 electrons are shared to the 2 chlorines. And with the 2 chlorines, it can form what the bond. Each chlorine can give the 1 electron. Such 2 chlorines are there. So total electrons given by the neighbor is 2. Originally present 2. So total electrons are 4. Where is 8 and where are 4? So in spite of 8, beryllium is with the 2 electrons and is very happy. It's very stable. So whatever the example that Prathamesh has given, it's the right. BeCl2, electron deficient compound. As like PCl5, SF6 are expanded octet examples. Likewise, BeCl2 is an incomplete octet. Deficient to octet is example. Yes. Is everybody understanding the thing? The basic thing I am discussing. Yes. Can you give any other example further? It's a one example. I want one more example. Example of incomplete octet. Example where central atom is with less number of electrons than 8. Very good, Prathamesh. Very good. What about others? If you don't know, say don't know, so that I will know that you don't know. I repeat, my question is, give any other example of electron deficient compound. If you don't know, write don't know. Okay. Okay. Now see, whatever the Prathamesh has said is a right example, but let us verify that. BCl3 or BF3, anything will do. I am writing there BF3, and let us see the structure of the BF3 molecule. Yes, let us go through such kind of the structure. Here see, boron is bonding with the 3 fluorines. Will anybody answer? You'll talk loudly. Atomic number of boron? Yes, what's atomic number of boron?
5.
Right, 5. So in outermost orbitals of boron, there will be 3 electrons. 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. 3 electrons. So 3 electrons originally are present at what boron? But when it forms bond with the fluorine, 1 electron from fluorine, 1 electron from other fluorine, 1 electron from other fluorine, likewise 3 electrons are taken due to sharing. So now 3 plus 3. Total 6 electrons are there around boron, not 8. I repeat, boron atomic number is 5. Don't say that 3 electrons from the fluorine. So 5 plus 3 means 8. 8 as a total number of electrons on boron. But what we want in outermost orbitals, in outer shell, that's the second shell of boron. How many electrons are there? In second shell of boron, 3 electrons of its own and 3 electrons by fluorine. So 6 electrons are there. So it is a electron deficient compound. If I would write the electronic configuration for the boron, electronic configuration in terms of what the block diagram, if you would represent, then you will represent electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. Those 3 electrons from what the boron, the outermost electron, and 3 electrons from what the fluorine. So I consider what the 6. So it is a deficient in the electrons. True. sequence. How it actually forms bond, that we have to what see. I repeat, boron atomic number 5, so electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. Students, could you read the screen that I am showing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, good. So 2 electrons in 1s orbital, 2s electron in 2s orbital. See, these two separate are then 2p of train is there, train of 3 bogie. 1, 2, 3. So in only first orbital they have shown the 1. So to form a bond, what is needed? Unpaired electron. So unpaired electron is there. But how many electrons are there? Only one unpaired electron is there, boron. But to our surprise, what are we finding? We are finding boron is forming 3 bonds. How can those 3 bonds possible? So it's a rearrangement that the element can do. Whatever the video that I asked you to see in the last lecture about the non-directional bonding, you will find the purpose of the bonding. Purpose of the bonding is satisfaction, and actually satisfaction will be there if the more number of bonds are formed. Not always, but depends. Here, in order to form the bonds more, this 2s orbital and 2p orbital energies are nearly same, not exactly same. Certainly 2s orbital is of lower energy than that of the 2p, nearly same. What the boron can think, it is better time being excite this electron. So this electron can be what the excited. So I show that. Okay, it is a MO diagram they are showing. Just I want a simple explanation about what the BF3 bonding. Yes. See, boron in ground state that we have seen 2s2 and 2p1. In excited state, what happens? What are the paired electrons in 2s orbital? Those gets excited to 2p. So now, how many unpaired electrons are there? 3. Yes. So 3 unpaired electrons. So those 3 unpaired electrons can be shared with the different fluorines and can form the 3 bonds. So this one unpaired electron gets shared by the electron from the fluorine. So electron from the fluorine is shown by the dotted line. I'm not sure how far you can read that. Okay, now I think you could able to see clearly. See this electron from the fluorine. So now doublet, that's bond. It's a 1 bond, 2 electron. Here's second bond, 2 electrons. Here's a third bond, 2 electrons. So because of these 3 bond, now boron has the property of the 6 electron in spite of 8. So it is an example of incomplete octet. If I were to talk about the orbitals from what the boron, then it's a 2s orbital, 2p orbitals. If I say 2px, 2py and 2pz, for the formation of bond, this s orbital and this 2p orbitals will overlap, will interact to form hybridization. That is called as sp2 hybridization. And these sp2 hybrid orbitals, they arrange in which fashion? Triangular manner. It's like a fan. So one blade of the fan is the BF bond. Second blade of the fan, second BF bond. Third blade of the fan, that's a BF bond. It is a sp2 hybridized boron. But if you pay the attention carefully, you will find this orbital is there, which is vacant. It has no any electron, neither from the boron, neither from the fluorine or any other atom. This 2pz orbital is a vacant orbital and is represented here. See, up and down, say 2pz orbital. This is a vacant orbital, and if orbital is there, it can welcome the electron. In that, electrons are accommodable, but they are not there. Even though BF3 is with the not complete stability, but is occurring, is what the stable. This is a less stable, and because of that, form the various kinds of the compounds. So because of its instability, it is going to form the additional compound. Such a compound where orbitals are not completely filled, which orbitals are there, then such compounds are called as electron deficient compounds. And these electron deficient compounds are very eager to govern the stability, and that stability can be governed by means of the dimerization, further combination that we are discussing. BF3 can combine with further BF3 to form a diborane. So if I have to show you the structure of the diborane, then see here the diborane. This is the structure of the diborane. See boron, it is now here sp3 hybridized, sp3. So one hydrogen, second hydrogen, third hydrogen. It's like a BH3. In spite of the BF3, consider BH3. Here, first hydrogen of other boron, second hydrogen, and the third hydrogen. These are three hydrogens from the other BF3. This BF3 and other BF3 are combining and forming such kind of the bond. It is called B2H6. The name for that B2H6 compound is diborane. So diborane also is an example of the electron deficient compound. So what kind of electron deficiency in diborane, that I have to discuss, but that I will discuss next time. But now simply you understood the BF3 molecule. BF3 molecule is considered stable compared to the BH3 molecule. That BF3 molecule is electron deficient molecule. Number of electrons are there. PCl2, less number of electrons are there. So those examples are the somewhat simple examples where octet is not completed. To them also we can say as an incomplete octet. But we are discussing electron deficient compounds. Octet and all not more applicable. Orbitals are available, but electrons are what the less. Electron deficient compound means generally we think that bond means two electrons. One electron from one atom, one electron from the other atom, so one bond will form. In one bond, two electrons are there. So if two atoms are there, one bond will be there. But here we are finding two electrons, but atoms are three. So that's the electron deficient compound. So why I am saying that two electrons and the atoms are three, that you will come to next time. So today just I discussed the basis of octet rule, expanded octet or incomplete octet, and just I told you electron deficient compound, and from the electron deficient compound our syllabus begins, our syllabus starts. Yes students, whatever I discussed, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. See, when you find such kind of screen, no, then I could able to read your text. But when I show the presentation, at that time I can't read about the text, whatever text message you're saying. Therefore, you have to talk as like Prathamesh has given the answer. And when such window is open, then also you can talk. Good students, you are giving the replies. Simple, basic thing I told to you, and never get discouraged to answer. Let your answer be wrong, but you have to what answer. Don't worry about that. But your answer is most important for me, and for your development it is important for you. Okay, so next Friday, I think, no, yes, Friday, I'll discuss this paper 2. Today, the homework is not as such, just incomplete octet, expanded. You read that. From next lecture onwards, homework will be there, because only just the basic I made what the clear, about which if you have doubt, you can what the ask next time. Even to WhatsApp also you can what the ask. So students, shall we stop? Good.